Gentlemen,
Hello.
Doug said he was going to have a lot to talk about, and clearly I can see that he's messing with us. And
For a change.
he's going to say nothing. This is going to be the best episode we've ever recorded.
I've been told I speak too much, so I want to.
Since we last did one of these, one of us has gone viral on LinkedIn. And I was quite surprised actually he was going to turn up with this one.
Yeah, no, considering I barely post on LinkedIn, so
it's all about quality over quantity, right?
I guess.
Yeah. Very good.
I was, I am a little disappointed. We were talking about vanity metrics the other day, and it's like 2,000 impressions less than 100,000, and I was like, oh, come on, give me that. Let me get that an extra digit. I just wanted to see it for one time.
Well, I've been having Claude look every few minutes, just to help boost that up.
I appreciate that. Well, speaking of Claude, Doug, did you meet John Strickler, my good friend, tech guy?
I have, in the past. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We've introduced Sven and him. That's right.
Yeah.
So I was over at his place last night. He's got he has a shed also, Peter. We call it
a shack. A shack.
Good man.
It was a shack.
Good man.
And it's called the Bate Cave. Yeah. And he was teaching me how to use Claude Code like through the terminal and stuff. So that was fun. Learning a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Put your big boy pants on, Dylan. Big boy coding pants on.
Yeah, not using the actual app and just using terminal. That's
I might have mentioned this already. I was out for drinks with a local agent here in the Connecticut area, and he was old guy, lovely. It's like fun speaking to him about like how he's seen things change. But you know what his biggest complaint about technology today was?
It's not on paper.
It's not in the terminal anymore. He talks about how quick the terminal worked, and that it took a lot of time, and it's ugly. It's like green screen stuff. But he's like, I knew exactly how to like rip through data entry, and my team did. And now we have these like really nice looking systems, but they take, in his mind, a long time to load. Right. And to move on to like the next step. So interesting to think about.
Doug, you say that, and I hear you, but I think people forget how slow the internet was before. Like if everything is local, sure, but if there's actually any kind of connectivity, I feel like everyone has forgotten what a 56K modem does.
Probably, but it's a good point.
Get off the phone. I'm trying to go on the
internet. Dial up. It was interesting to think about because we often, and I fully believe that things need to look nice. We're trying to get a younger generation interested in insurance and doing things, and so to the extent that any of us will still be around in 5 years interfacing with this versus like our AI overlords, I think it needs to look nice, but it was, it needs to look nice and still move fast, and not lag and things like that. So something food for thought.
I very much enjoyed The Terminal. I thought it was Tom Hanks's best film. So there you go.
Peter, are you trying to do some really shitty jokes like I do? You're putting your hat on.
It's actually my best material. I've been working on it for the week.
He's a recent
really
dad,
hurts.
so the dead jokes are really they're getting better,
getting worse. Yeah,
or
worse.
I did have a few things I wanted to maybe float.
We don't have time for those, so let's straight into the guest.
Andrew's not even here yet. He's like happily late.
We're excited to hear them. Yeah.
So I didn't have a post like Dylan that was viral, but I put a post out this weekend about being good to people in the space. And I did have a few people reach out and noted like I'm often very mean on LinkedIn sometimes. And how do I square that or circle it? I don't know how the expression works. I actually think it's kind though to be mean if you're being honest, like not just for meanness sake, but letting people know. Maybe that's not a good idea, or maybe you shouldn't send, for instance, I don't know, I'm just picking a random example on a thin air here, but maybe you don't send a legal letter to one of your competitors if you're a little annoyed at them about something that isn't illegal whatsoever. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
Random hypothetical, Dylan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody has a really shitty claims idea, and maybe we should press them a little bit on it.
Which was my most recent LinkedIn post also. So that's definitely a thing that I need to get better at, being
mean.
kind in a way that is constructive, because I need to make sure that people understand that they're making a mistake.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And this is an olive branch to the folks that have the 2% loss ratio. We'd love to have them on, and they can explain to us exactly how that worked out and why we continue to maybe be a little, rude about it. But there's also a point, Dylan, where people just don't learn their lesson. And
that's true.
What do we do here? So as with everything in life, a lot of nuance, and to all those people that think my post was bullshit, it's not. I'm just being kind in a very mean way. So I guess you'll have to deal with it.
Wow.
But guys, speaking of kindness and kind people,
Andrew,
we have probably the kindest person on right now. This is
definitely
a guy,
the kindest person on this show.
Well, yeah, tied with Peter, maybe.
We did a mini recording with Andrew as well, didn't we?
We did, and it was one that aired. Thankfully, it wasn't one of the ones that.
Did you? You did a recording with Andrew?
Yeah, in at Target Markets.
Yeah. That's
and
what
James Taylor.
It's one of the best ones we ever did.
And me and Peter, not
Dylan.
Yeah. Thanks
for the invite. Appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure you had an invite to Arizona. Hey, by the way, not to keep Andrew waiting, because we do want to have him on and chat in a minute here. But Dylan, where are you going to be next week? You can't make it to New York. Peter and I are going to be hanging out one-on-one. We're going to get in a fight with Connolly and about his new podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, Connolly.
Yeah, I honestly think he would kick the crap out of you. So I wouldn't make it physical. So
I think they won some high rocks competition and that. So yeah.
Are you saying Peter and I can't hold our own, Dylan?
I mean, 2-on-1.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, 2-on-1. I think you guys can take him. But
Peter's a fast runner, so he'll probably run, and then I'm screwed.
To be fair, you're a much faster runner. You just
back in the
let
day.
It slip. Yeah.
Oh God! Listen, the podcast that came out with that T-shirt. The two biggest comments I got this week: one, you're not really that kind. Why'd you put that post out? Two, that T-shirt and your weight do not go together. And I was like, that's mean. That was a mean comment.
Which T-shirt was this? Which one? Which one?
T-shirt. I was trying to show off for Scout.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
And the meanest comments came from Chris himself, where he's like, "Did we get your son a T-shirt and you just couldn't find yours?"
Black is usually slimming as well. So
yeah. I guess it was the laughing, because somebody also said you laugh like Santa Claus. It was awful.
It's the most viewed YouTube one we've done, because most people listen on Spotify, but they heard you were wearing that shirt, so a lot of people checked it out.
Incredible. I feel so bad for Andrew right now. Let's bring him on. He's listening to this junk. It's like, change my mind. I'm not coming on the show.
He's too kind to leave. He would stay here, so let's not abuse that.
All right, let's go.
I'm learning so much. I'm so intrigued. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is our we do these little struggle sessions. We can't, none of us can afford therapy, so we just kind of talk to each other and on Claude.
My mental state is getting worse because of these therapy sessions, though. So yeah.
So last time I spoke to Andrew, Doug, you were off to Argentina, I think.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
How was that?
It was great. Yeah. We had ice cream. We went to a ranch. I brought my two daughters there, 5 and 3, and they just were blown away that it was winter in Atlanta, but summer in Buenos Aires, and that just blew them away. They couldn't understand how that could happen, and then it went right back to winter when we came back.
Very cool.
That's lovely.
So little father-daughter trip. But is Buenos Aires known for ice cream?
Well, unsure. Probably not. But my daughters do like ice cream. And there was this one place that National Geographic says is one of the top 10 ice cream places in the world. Wow. And and they probably know something. And so we went there, and we all finished our ice cream. It was amazing. So
I don't think I've ever not finished my ice cream.
Right.
Which is why I can't wear the same size shirt Doug does, and why Chris hasn't given me one, because he doesn't have one big enough.
Yeah, like I don't even eat ice cream. What the hell's wrong with me? I just must have like a thyroid problem or something.
Sorry, did you say you don't eat ice cream?
I mean, I do, but not like it sounds like you eat a lot of ice cream, and I'm still fat, so I don't know what's going on.
I eat a ton of ice cream. Wow.
Andrew, enough silliness. Listen, I think we can count Andrew as a second time guest as well, since we did do that little mini episode with him.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, Dylan, Jesus Christ. Peter, let's talk to Matt about maybe just having him join our podcast. We can get rid of this guy over here.
I'm going to replace you all with AI. It's fun.
We should all be replaced by AI. But before then, Andrew, we're going to talk about AI, so be ready for that. This is a very loose discussion, by the way. Obviously, we do not plan these things. Andrew or Dylan said he did do a little research on you, so we'll get into that.
Okay, bring it.
But I met you. It was a while ago. We actually shared an attorney. The great
was a guest. I listened to that whole thing. I mean,
isn't he a great guy?
$8,000 worth of advice for free. So I
sent you like 45 minutes of his time.
Yeah,
well, exactly. we paid for that. We had to pay him to be on.
I believe it.
His hourly rate. So we might send you like a mini invoice for that. So
we're gonna fund the show.
So the first time I remember meeting, I know we met before then, but the first time I remember was that nice dinner we had with Hofnagel and his crew. And we were just both getting going. Well, you'd been going with the MGA for a while, and to the extent you want to talk about that, I'd love to hear about your journey building that, but now also working on something new and for a while now. And so we want to hear about that. But you're a tried and true insurance entrepreneur at this point. I think your archetype is like what we're hoping people on are listening to, the one or two people that actually accidentally stumble across this.
But Doug, it's interesting because I've heard you make comments about it, and I was absolutely the person you didn't like when I started. Like, I was a former consultant at McKinsey, like the worst possible person. And then I went to business school, and then I'm like, oh, insurance is so easy. Like, you collect some premium and you pay some money out, and then there's all this profit. So I should just do it. And let me call an insurance company and they'll build my program for me. And I mean, I am guilty of everything you have accused all of your listeners of. I was that guy. It's why I got my CPCU only to help fit into this party where everyone was like, you don't fit in. And I'm like, well, at least I'll take some exams and then I can put some letters after my name.
Right. You only had the MBA. You needed a lot more. Well, now I feel bad, one, for making fun of consultants on a lot of prior shows. So we got to go edit all of those. Andrew, well, here's the thing. You're such a nice person. I didn't even know you were a consultant. Like, Greg, I knew was an attorney, and I was like, this guy, luckily fun. So we'll still have him around. But you're just such a nice person. You don't come off as a consultant. Talk about that. So that move from consultancy, you thought it was going to be easy. The idea around it, how did you kind of come to that, and maybe all the, oh shit, this isn't that easy, that kind of realization as well. I'd love to hear about that.
I'd love to talk about this because it was a meaningful part of my life. It took way too long to get started because it was harder than planned. So I mean, I was at McKinsey in the travel practice. I knew I wanted to do travel. I'm a travel person. I want to be in the travel industry. I didn't even know I was in the insurance industry until I went through the MetLife TechStars program in Cary, North Carolina in 2018. And I'm surrounded by all these insurance people. And I'm like, wait, maybe even though we sell insurance and that's pretty much all we sell, maybe I'm not in travel anymore. Maybe I'm in insurance. And so that really helped. That whole experience sitting in the MetLife, one of their main offices in Cary, North Carolina for 3 months, meeting all these executives. I'm like, they're doing the same thing I'm doing. I happen to sell insurance in travel. And by the way, the company I founded is called Safely, and Safely insures short-term home rentals, Airbnb rentals. So all the guest caused damage that takes place. And I've got stories. I told some stories last time, but also the commercial liability a homeowner has when they're running a business from their house. When there's a paying guest in their house, they need commercial insurance. And so we built a program and the technology to insure each reservation as it comes in. We see it, we've integrated with their master calendar, and we create a mini insurance policy. And so that sounds a whole lot like insurance and not travel, but it did take 6 years for me to realize that I was in insurance, and I embraced it, and here I am. But Doug, back to the original question, when I started, I saw a lot of homeowners, and they'd own a second home, but then they'd leave it empty. About 2/3 of all second homeowners would leave their home empty. They wouldn't rent. And I'm like, I'm going through graduate school. Like, how can you have enough money to have a first house, and then you have a second house, but then now you just leave it empty? Like, I can't even get a first house, and you have two, and then you're just like wasting it. And so the whole, like, in business school, I spent the whole summer trying to interview homeowners and understand, why are you leaving your home empty? And it's because they didn't want internet strangers sleeping in their bed. And that makes total sense, but it also makes sense to try to monetize this really nice asset that you have when you're not using it. And so that was what I was trying to put together. And as you can imagine, insurance is a really, really good way of helping a homeowner trust the guest coming into their house. So, okay, this is a guest you don't know, but there's $1 million of insurance standing behind them. So, you can take a few risks because there's at least some coverage. And we also did guest background checks and screening. And so like the data plus the insurance to make sure that now you're renting your home on your own terms. And so that's like how I got into it. And I was really lucky. So kind of the lucky break was winning a competition, a startup competition. Focusrite is one of the leading travel technology competitions. And so we won that, the prize. Like, you have to pay to pitch, which, I'm against, but, we paid $10,000 or whatever. And then we won $250,000 investment from Generalist. So it was like, it worked out, but I'm still against it. But we got some good time. But having that accolade or that credential was enough to work with Assurant and their team working on the sharing economy. Was enough so that I was not just a random entrepreneur coming to them. Instead, it's like, oh, I'm a random entrepreneur coming to them with a thesis that aligned with what they wanted to build in the sharing economy group at Assurant. And I won this prize with this investment. And so that was the lucky break. I didn't realize it at the time because I thought insurance was easy. But in hindsight, I'm like, holy cow, they should never have talked to me. Like, this is an industry with no data. It's an industry that was so small in 2013. And like, I can't tell you what the premium should be. I don't have any customers. I built no technology, but I just thought you'd go to the insurance store and you go get insurance. And so I was doing that. And then they were really slow. But eventually we got to where we wanted to go. We had a great working relationship.
Andrew, can I come in there quickly on the pitch itself?
Yeah.
Did you did the pitch in that time?
I did. Yeah.
Did you feel a bit of pressure with the 10K entrance fee and a big prize on the line? How were the emotions?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big audience. 600 some people or whatever. Like, I mean, starting a company, anytime you're pre-revenue, there should be pressure. So I don't think it was the $10,000 that was the pressure. It's just like there's just constant pressure.
Yeah. How many people? How many companies were pitching? Like, how many paid the 10,000?
I think like 15 or so.
Wow. So I'm not giving any advice here, but maybe just some math. If you were to take that 10,000 and go to Vegas and maybe like try and like land on black 3 or 4 times in a row, the odds might be about the same, and you probably end up with.
I think Andrew probably has more confidence in his own ability to.
So it's a 50-50 chance. It's 50-50.
Andrew, so in terms of the pitch itself, so that's pretty amazing to do that and to go into that. What would you say? And I think a lot of for once asking a serious question. For once, a lot of aspiring MGA founders or people going into the space, like what was, in your view, looking back on that, reflecting on that, all these kind of years later, what were the things, the notes that you hit in that speech that you think made you stand out and win that competition?
I think two things. I mean, it was 2013. Airbnb launched in 2008. They, I think they did their Series A in like 2012 or like maybe 9 or 10. It was still early for them, but this was a market that was growing, and then an established solution. Insurance is established. Like, is your insurance good enough, or will that be mainstream? Unsure, but at least pitching insurance is like, people get it, and they can believe it could work. So I think it was an established market, insurance. It was a fast growing market, but also I spent a lot of time with short-term rentals and worked with some of the bigger platforms, helping them get launched. And so I really understood just all the pieces along the way. I'd had conversations with some very high profile executives in the industry. So I had the insights from that, not just like I was name dropping, but I like understood how they were thinking about second home rentals. And my solution helped with that. And I was able to explain that in the pitch and the questions afterwards.
Great.
I'm trying to remember, and so I might be misremembering how you handled claims, but Dylan, I think you're going to like how Safely handled claims, because you guys did it, right? You guys were paying the claims, you guys were handling it. That's Dylan, you're gonna love. Well, one, some of the stories. I remember Andrew, you telling me over dinner. But two, just the fact that you guys built your claims department and you wanted to handle that. You felt it was very important to do that, which I imagine like homes are extremely personal things, right? Like the conversations I'm sure you had to have to get these things to work with that type of asset. So being able to show like, we're standing behind this, like Andrew, or somebody on my team is the one actually handling this claim for you. That had to be a big relief for customers when that time came up, right?
Yeah, well, let me tell you about that evolution. So first of all, maybe you're excluded, Dylan, but no one says I want to run claims for my business. Then you talk to
boring, so boring,
right, and it's hard, and people aren't happy. It's like you don't wake up and say today I'm going to take over claims, especially when there are all these fantastic TPAs out there. And but here's how
that's the most shocking thing I've heard of the show in all of the episodes.
Other than Reserve. Reserve is a wonderful TPA. We're very happy. Everybody should use Reserve. But yeah, everybody else, stop. Yeah. Just stop what you're doing. That business.
But here's how it played out. Assurant would do our claims. So we were just our role as an MGA was very, very limited as we started, and then it expanded, of course, over time. But Assurant was taking, they're doing a great job with the claims. They'd pay them, but it was taking 30 days, which is normal for like regular claims back in the old days of 2013, 14, 15. Like, it was their same claims department that would do some massive claims. And of course, it takes time to properly handle a claim that's $80,000, $100,000, something like that. But for short-term rentals, the severity is very, very low, $250 on average, maybe $300, but the frequency is very high, maybe 5-6%. And so like, you can't be taking 30 days. And so what we started off doing is we would pay the claim immediately, but we treat it as a loan to our customer. We knew Assurant would eventually pay it. So we got a form where Assurant would pay us, but we'd already paid the property manager, our customer, for the claim. So that way we could start to do it right away. So we were actually double processing every single claim. But I mean, we were losing customers because claims were taking too long. And all of a sudden, our net promoter score was really high. Churn was really low because people were just shocked that we could pay claims in 2 days, 3 days. And we wired the money directly into their bank account. So that's how we took over claims. And then, Assurant eventually pulled out of the sharing economy, like systematically. They did a lot of ride sharing. So then we moved over to Greenlight Re, and so then we were running all the claims. So then we weren't double processing the claims. We had our authority up to a certain point, and then we worked with our underwriter at Greenlight Re to work on the more difficult claims together, because they have a really sophisticated claims team, because it's fundamentally their money that's being paid out. So that's how we got into claims, and at Safely there's a great claims team now, and they've seen it all. And what people do on vacation is
wild.
Is wild. Yeah.
Yeah. As I can give you some stories about Dylan and I on vacation a couple of weeks ago, but I won't, just so he can keep both of us can keep our careers. So what you did at that house, Dylan, hopefully that wasn't a safely policy.
Yeah, we saw the pictures.
Yeah. Wow.
I joke about claims is the most important thing of insurance, to be very clear, so we don't get a lot of hate mail in from the listeners, all those claims people, and I just make fun of claims to get Dylan all riled up. It is very, very important, and I love the fact that you guys were handling it, knowing it inside and out, and again, probably like you said, like, the proof was in the pudding for you all, like the way it went, after you started handling it. So, Dylan, let's get into some claims chat. What do you got?
Well, first question is, when you started getting into claims, was it were they traditional claims people, or were they from a different part of the industry who are saying, hey, we can do something better, going from a 30 days to a 2-day kind of payout?
That was just me responding to customers being mad. And like, I can solve this.
You're just like, I can solve this with money.
Yeah,
I don't like these mean emails I'm getting. How do I get
so
less
small
of
at the time? So it was a modest amount of money, and it really was a 30-day float. It's not like it was like we're putting the money at risk. Like, they're fantastic at paying the claims that should have been paid. That was not the issue. It's just the timing. So. I became licensed claims adjuster in every state that allows me to do that. Tourist tracks all this for me. So thank you, Doug. Actually, producer licenses but
our best customer right there. And I hope all of our other customers are listening.
It's a great free service.
This is like why it's so good for you.
Yeah. Andrew Bate, brought to you by Tourists.
Exactly. But no, it's just me trying to solve a customer problem. And then when we did hire people, we hired experienced claims adjusters who had experience, but no one has experience with like bed sheets and scratch floors, like at that volume. So it is a really unique type of claim, but understanding a policy, understanding how to respond, first notice of loss, and all the steps after that in a legal way, like that takes some experience. So and people who are good adjusters have a different way of looking at the world. And like, I try to make everything work. Like, I'm a creative, and I could see how that could fall into the policy, and like that gets expensive. You need people who can really.
There's some angry actuaries out there being like, that is not what we meant. So what were you doing as far as systems? Because again, you're doing this, you're kind of double entry claims here. That's got to be a real pain in the ass. So how are you dealing with that?
Peter, you're not going to like this. Can I say this out loud? Is Google?
You can say. Listen, Andrew, to be very clear, you can say whatever you want. We'll edit it later on if you need to, but please, like, we do not get enough people angry at us, surprisingly. So just let loose. Do it.
So about a year and a half ago, we switched to Snapsheet, but before that, it was all Google Sheets. HubSpot tickets and Google Sheets to handle it all. Again, it was very high frequency. So like, we close out a claim pretty quickly. There's not, other than the large claims, like we'd reserve, but it would only be for a few seconds, because then we'd make the payment. So it was easier to do that, but it did get unwieldy. And then when the auditors looked at it, like, they weren't finding problems, but they're like, how can you have so many tabs open on your browser? And how is this possible?
I feel like
and it was possible, right but it could have been better. And then we did put a system in to make it better.
Snapsheets, we're good friends with Snapsheet folks, so I think that's all good. And we should get, hopefully, should we talk to Brad about maybe like a 10K check or something?
100K,
100K.
Yeah,
We'll send him this episode.
SaaS is expensive, so
it is. Well, recording these episodes is expensive, guys. Our time is extremely valuable. Okay, so Andrew,
by Snapsheet.
By Snapsheet. So Andrew, you've built this great business, and I think you got the entrepreneur bug to maybe like work on something new. So let's like transition to that a little bit, because I'd love to talk about kind of the direction change, and I mean still in the same lane, but kind of like what you're working on now, and maybe even the thought of like, I loved building the system chaos, right? I want to be able to put that whole thing together again, because I think people in the insurance space, they maybe do one and they're like, all right, like thank God that worked out. And like, I'm not broke, and I can kind of go on cruise control. Maybe I do some investing or whatever. That's not you. You're like, no, I want to start from scratch again and kind of like build something brand new. So love the thought process there, and then also just like what you're working on today.
I guess the question is really, why do you hate yourself so much and want to start another company?
Well, one thing, this realization remember I said I wanted to be in travel. Well, now I want to be in insurance because I like it. It's like creativity, but within guardrails. Like you can't go too crazy, but within these constraints, you can do whatever you want. And then, I think it's a collegial industry. You see competitors collaborating on some programs and then competing on others. So you can't be super mean to people without it coming back to you. And so I like that piece too. So I mean, well, yeah, we're laughing. I'm going through some. This is it's on the software side though. It's all these like PE buttheads. So in the actual insurance space, Andrew, 100%, and it is extremely collegial. Yeah. And I mean that's the best part about the insurance space, I think. And maybe this is what you found. And I don't want to take over what you were just saying, but when I was wrapping up my MGA, like I was like, I don't want to leave the space. Like I have friends here. I spent the last 5 years building a massive network here. It'd be silly to go do something else. I should figure out like how to leverage what I've built, and not even just leverage it from a commercial aspect, but just saying like, I enjoy this space. I enjoy Andrew. I enjoy Peter, and Dylan puts up with me. So I should keep working in this space. I imagine you had the same thought, right? Yeah, I mean, we've had such fantastic partners with Assurance, as I mentioned, and then Greenlight Re. We've built programs together. Like we've really improved. The program's so much better. Obsidian Specialty as Safely's fronting carrier up until, part of the reason I'm leaving is because Tokyo Marine's making an investment in Safely. I think it was announced last week. And like you were saying, I'm a founder, and I don't need to work. I mean, that's just not the environment I've chosen to work for. I could go back to consulting and work with big companies again. And I've just decided as a middle-aged business person that that's just not my path. And so here we go. We're starting again, but I didn't monetize it. So I have to work. Like, I still own my shares and all that, but I need to work. So I'm not going to InsurTech New York because we have a baby boy coming April 6th. And it turns out these kids are expensive. Even in a lower cost of living place like Atlanta, they add up. So I don't have the option of sitting back and resting. I've got to use my strengths and relationships and knowledge and go build another company.
Absolutely.
So
I'd love to.
Oh, sorry.
I'd just love to pick up on that point, Andrew. That and please feel free to share as much or as little as you want. There's no pressure with this question, but when you talk about the financial aspect of leaving the company that you founded and you brought to such an amazing level that it got investment from one of the major insurance groups of the world, I'd love to know. I guess one, are there any kind of lessons learned from that, from a pure business outcome, financial outcome perspective, and two, anything you would change or have done differently, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about that. I think we can get into that another day. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah,
there.
of course. We'll get over to that over
and
coffee.
Therefore,
yeah.
I think there's a better path not there than there.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So let's dive into what you're building now, just because I find it very interesting. Obviously, I'm happy that you're working with us, but I think just like what you're doing is very much needed, and it's always like a new spin on things. So I think what you did was Safely. Like here's a need that I see, right, and we're going to fill it, and it's become more popular. I think you were on the kind of the leading edge of that type of insurance, and so now like how are you kind of taking those learnings and applying that to Velaris?
Yeah, and what was sure we're going to talk about vacation rentals and property managers for a few minutes, but really just think of vacation rental property managers as small business owners. They own small businesses with a risk profile that's not well understood, and so what happened is they come to me and they say, my general liability program, I know I'm double covered in so many areas. Like I'm spending so much money, I don't know why. But I also know that when something bad happens, there's probably an exclusion that's not going to cover me. And then they talk about the relationship they have with their local brokers. Their local brokers are fantastic. They know insurance, but they probably met because they're on the pickleball team together, or they go to church together, or they were in a fraternity together, or they're friends of a friend or something like that. It's not because they have this deep expertise in that small business owners in their business. Because a generalist broker is going to work with the veterinarian, and they're going to work with the vacation rental property manager and the marketing agency and the movie theater and the car wash, all these companies, and they can't be experts in 70 different industries, and then also have all the carrier relationships that you really need to place the risk in the right way. And then what happens is, all right, you have that program, but when you start to talk to these entrepreneurs, these small business owners, and they have all these needs, but a broker can't, like if the carrier doesn't have a solution, the broker can't fit those needs or fulfill those needs. So it's like, hey, Peter, I'm sorry, I don't have a program for you. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I guess there's nothing out there. But when you start to hear the same problems from 40 different companies, then 50, which we did at Safely, you start to hear all those issues. Well, you can build a program. Brokers can't build a program, or they rarely do, but an MGA can. So we can build programs as we hear about it. So really the whole mission is to be like Costco, where you go in and you get all your insurance needs. It might be the Kirkland brand, which is our MGA, will build that for you, or it could be a major carrier, and we have their brand. It's exactly what you need. So, but really, we want to be able to understand an industry really well, starting with hospitality. So hotels, vacation rental property managers, but hotels have restaurants, hotels have bars, they have parking lots, and really understand that risk profile they have and get really good at almost productizing the admitted products, not admitted, that's the wrong name, but like the general liability annual products they need, but then listening to them and building unique products and having the technology to distribute new products really well. And my co-founder is my brother, who is also our CTO, built all the technology at Safely. And so we know how to integrate into property management software systems, online travel agencies, revenue management systems, restaurant systems. We know how to integrate and then push programs forward.
And this model, like, it's not meant to replace that brother-in-law or friend that is the agent, right? It is basically giving that agent the expertise that they need, the new product they need to actually fit that, vacation rental or veterinarian, or, pick your flavor of insurance. Because this is so interesting to me. And I think people could forget a CGL or a BOP, 40 years ago, it covered a lot of different things. And, maybe there was endorsements or exclusions, or you get a company code, say like, we're just not going to do that. You need to go to this carrier over there. But that carrier over there is the same thing. It's like, okay, on the edges, we group all of these together. But it was this, at the end of the day, it was, a bunch of generalized information being used to actually underwrite these things. And the policy itself on its face, at least, was pretty much the same, give some exclusions or endorsements or whatnot. And now with technology, I think what's like so interesting is that you can build all these very specific niche down products, but how do we get them into the hands of the people that are probably still the best ones to distribute it because of the relationship versus their know-how? And you're kind of like fitting into that wedge. At least this is the way I understood it when you explained it to me the first time. Is like, we're not trying to displace one side or the other here. It's like really like how do we better distribute these products and make them known or available to that the person that owns the relationship, and so that business now has a more fit for purpose insurance product.
Yeah, I mean, that's correct. That said, we're looking at all distribution channels. So embedded is a huge one. Like, you can serve up so many new products. If you're at the point of sale, you have a whole new set of customers. If you're at the point of sale, whatever point of sale means. At the same time, your own captive agents, they understand the industry so well. What I haven't solved for yet is working with those generalist agents, because they only work with a couple of people. Whatever industry we're in, they only work with a couple of companies in that space. So we end up being really low on their priority list. And if we have new types of products, it takes some education. And so I'm going to give it a really solid try. How do we help distribute through these local generalist agents? Because that would be a massive unlock. That infrastructure is already there. That said, I'm trying to balance how much work does it take to train them so they can sell the 2 policies a year versus bring on my own team who can then do this full time.
Yeah, you should chat with Bradley with Portal Insurance, because he thinks about this a lot. Do you know him, Bradley Flowers? Great guy, very forward-thinking broker, and very much of the mindset, like, hey, if we don't get our shit together as agents, like, we will be displaced. So how do we work with the Andrew Bates of the world and allow us to still be a part of this? So happy to make that connection. Actually, we need to get Bradley on the show at some point. He does have a competing podcast. It's much more well followed than ours, but we can make an exception for having him on. He's also a Southern guy. He's down in Alabama, so you guys aren't too far from each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Peter, you must have some distribution thought. Like, so Peter's Loro's obviously built a very very nice system for distribution and many other things, but
well, a lot of the similar thoughts to what you're saying, and I think there's been a rather convoluted system in the US for a long time of multi-leveled distribution to get to the client, and the biggest challenge of that is often dissemination of information across the chain so people know what is available to be correctly sold. And I often believe that's a marketing and access problem. That's a very difficult problem to solve in a nation as large and complex as the US. But one thing I do really watch with interest, and they're onto a great thing, is the producer of our show, which is Rob. And Rob talks a lot about owning your niche and going after particular segments of the market and doing a lot of education rather than selling in those markets. And sounds very similar to some of the stuff you're describing, Andrew, and the approach we've seen with great success. And you're right. I don't think people want off-the-shelf solutions anymore. They want a solution that's relevant to their risk, to their industry. And we'll see more and more of that, I'm sure, as kind of the years go on.
So let's get into the product a little bit. So right now, we kind of danced a little bit around the product. What are you covering? Who's that ideal customer?
Yeah, we're working on a few approaches. One is those general liability programs, non-owned auto, errors and omissions that a hotelier or a property manager would have, and it's just so. right now I'm spending time with carriers, seeing who has appetite for that risk, and can we put together, like, can we have some certainty that if I bring them a customer that they will, they do have that appetite to cover their business. And yeah, so I mean, that's the stage where I'm at right now. We built the technology that we need to run an insurance program, at least for right now. My brother is very talented at technology, so he's just been building, and man, building is different these days than it was back in the old days. I mean, first, just having no legacy systems, no legacy customers. I mean, customers are good because there's revenue there, but customers also take up time and attention. Is hard to change things. And so just sitting here on March 25th, 2026, starting an insurance company from scratch is just the coolest thing in the world. And so, but Dylan, I'm still working on finding the right carriers to put together to build these programs. We're seeing the same issues with hotels. It's the individual hotel operator. It's not the brand. It's the hotel operator who has to go and buy insurance. And some of them have really great agents and others don't. But then they are pushed to get unique types of insurance. For example, human trafficking insurance, because their brand says they need that. And of course, that's a huge liability they have. And there are just some unique types of insurance that every industry has, like hotels, short-term rentals. They're not unique in that they're the only industries with unique challenges or unique risks that need a unique product. And so really we're at the stage of putting all this together. We hope to sell our first policy by May 1st. That's the plan.
Great. So I guess the things that you're going to need to get capacity for, like you're talking about HOA, but also like probably garage keepers. I mean, if you're having like a valet service, depending on obviously not all hotels have valet service, but plenty do. Liquor liability, you were just mentioning, right? So deal with dram shop law issues. You're going to be dealing with obviously general liability of the hotel, TRIA. What else? What things are you looking for? What is a hotel manager, individual owner really looking for besides those coverages? And I guess, are there any that are just like impossible to find right now as far as capacity?
No, they're all there. They just feel like they're one-off purchases, and I'm trying to kind of bulk it up and really say with certainty, you come in in your hotel, and I've got these 4 carriers who really understand what you're doing. We can go look harder, but we've built these 4 programs that they cover all those things that you mentioned.
Is it still a la carte though, in the sense that if they don't need that, like they didn't need the garage keeper, or they don't have liquor on premise, like they can still kind of like pick and choose?
Exactly. And then every small business is at a different time in life. Here's your silver package. This is the minimum of what you need. Like, this will keep you compliant and protect you from catastrophes. Here's the gold package. This is a pretty good package. Oh, but you have assets to protect, like real assets, and you're spinning off EBITDA. Oh, now you need the platinum package to add that extra level of protection. Like, every company is at a different point in their life cycle, and even if they run the same operating model with the same risk profile, they still have different insurance needs or coverage needs.
Yeah. And are you also covering property in this as well? Like pure, real property?
Correct.
Okay. So are you dealing with coastal, earthquake prone? Because I mean, there's a lot when you get the property.
Yeah. So what's great about Safely is there was no catastrophic risk in anything we covered there. So finding capacity, I'm not saying it was easy, but it was a lot easier, and you're not subject to to some of the market fluctuations because no correlated risk, no catastrophic risk was covered. But now we're getting into that, so that of course becomes a challenge. And then when you think of leisure destinations, somehow all the leisure destinations are in hurricane, wildfire, or earthquake areas, and so like if you want to focus on leisure, vacation rentals or hotels, you are going to deal with that.
This is why they need more vacation destinations in Iowa and the Netherlands. Just two places that I know are.
Well, Netherlands, they're underwater.
Safe.
Like you get.
I was gonna say, that's like low sea level.
We solved for that so long ago. It's people don't even.
Or by
know.
growing tall. That was the solution, right? Just grow taller.
And Peter, Doug,
For Christ's sake,
Yeah,
Dylan.
Dutchman.
Oh man! Like, listen, do you still live in Virginia, Dylan? Can you call yourself a Virginian?
Are
you in Virginia right now?
Look, I'm
All
there right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Real property,
right.
lots of it.
Well, one product that springs to mind for me, Andrew, that I'd love to introduce you to, a good friend of mine, and they do active assailant insurance, another product that a lot of these easy entrance exit type venues should realistically have.
Do we? We had him on the show, right, Peter?
Yeah, we had Charlie from Samfire on the show.
Yeah.
Former
He's
guest.
great guest.
Yeah.
Not as good as Andrew, but still pretty good guest.
And that's actually a great point. I mean, because you could be having conference centers, right? Large events. It's a real worry. Yeah. So wow. So you're going to package all this up and be able to sell it in major cities with lots of crime on a coast simultaneously.
Nailed it. Yes.
All right.
Where a lot of
But these are the
espionage might be
challenges
taking
they
place.
have, and let's go solve it. I mean, I love challenges. I mean, when we started Safely, the challenge was no one wanted to touch the liability a homeowner has in their non-professional house. Like it's a hotel for 35% of the days of the year, 45% of the days, and no one wanted to touch that. I get so many calls from homeowners who said they called their State Farm agent, and the State Farm agent, you're asking for a commercial rider, and their State Farm agent wanted to drop them.
And to be clear, that book has performed well, right? Like yeah. I mean, it's not a 2% loss ratio, and I can introduce you to a couple of guys that can help you figure that out. But it's you've proved it, right? And I think you have a track record now. So that's a great
right. And so that's completely different from when we were going to Assurance in 2013 and trying to sell them. So at least there's on segments of the business there's a good track record. But I heard if you don't have losses, then you get to count all of your premium as revenue, and then you get a multiple on your.
Andrew, premium. You do listen. You know all of our how to get to our hearts. ARR. Let's talk about that.
That's just the tech
Let's
company,
raise off of
right?
GWP. Every day, every time I meet you, I like you more and more, and you're just already such a likable guy. We need more guests like Andrew, like that, just come in and just make us feel really good about ourselves, guys.
I don't want to burst the bubble, Andrew, but from experience on this show, the next guest we have, he will then say they're the best guests we've ever had. So
now I'm high water mark, guys. It had to go somewhere. Like it has to go down at some point.
Are you going to tell Joe Zuck that in 2 days from now when he
100%? I'm like, Joe, should we even do this recording?
Like,
he's a legend.
Yeah, he's our next guest.
I mean, he's okay. All right, we don't want to give Joe a big head.
After many days banging at the age of the MJ door, we finally let him on the show, right? I think
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because he needs us. That's for sure. He's risking his entire career by coming on our show.
We are very important people, Dylan.
Okay. Sure.
All right, this is actually I've been looking forward to this question from Peter for a bit here because Andrew is just such a thoughtful, kind person. And by the way, I'm being 100% sincere. I know sometimes it's hard for people to tell when I am being sincere, but this is truly like I love hanging out. Anybody out there, if you have a chance, if you see Andrew at a conference, one tangent. I know you have a young one on the way. Are you thinking about coming to Scout though, out in Columbus?
Oh, I am coming to Scout. Yeah, I got my
alert.
All right.
Yeah, can't. Oh, nice. All right, we're gonna chat with you out in Scout because maybe I don't want to jinx it, but maybe you'll have a policy at that point. You'll have been in business. If not, we'll talk about something else. But we want to see you in person there. So and Chris, just if you're listening, we got one more to come. This one counts as ours. Just FYI, even if he already bought his ticket, we closed this deal for you, Chris. But yeah, anybody out there at Scout, go up and meet Andrew, please, because this is a guy you want in your life, hanging out with you, watching his journey. It's just you're you're a great guy. So Peter, I'm excited for you to ask this question because I do want to hear what Andrew has to say about this.
Well, Andrew's one of the few people who's watched our show before, so he knows what's coming. We'd love to know, Andrew, your view and your kind of aspiring legacy in this space, or obviously you've got much more important things going on with a new child on the way, but in the business world, what you see as your legacy.
Yeah, and I thought about this a little because I knew you'd ask it, and I still haven't come up with the right answer. I'm really excited with what we did with claims at Safely, where we were collaborative. Like, we treated claims like our product, because when you're in insurance, your product are your claims. Like that's like, you technically sell a legal document, but your product is your claims, and like, just trying to be helpful and round up and work with our customers. So we're solving a business need, not an insurance need, but a business need. So I think if I look at my insurance career, I'm trying to bring business needs into the insurance product. Like, I'm not trying to force my insurance product on you. I'm trying to understand your needs and then build the right insurance program for you. And I think that can continue, because I don't think there's enough of that in insurance. Like, I know a lot of people you talk to here, they're proactive and they're thoughtful, but you get a little deeper into this insurance world and it's like, no, like, the policy says this, and like, insurance just doesn't work that way. I'll give you an example. There's a company, of course, everyone knows it, Generalist, and they ran kind of the leading damage protection program for vacation rentals, but they excluded intentional damage. And so what allowed us to get our start in the industry was the fact that we would cover intentional damage. But insurance isn't meant to cover intentional damage. Like, then if I needed a new car, I'd crash my car. If I wanted a new house, I'd burn it down and get a new house thanks to my insurance company. But in this case, the intentional damage was done not by the homeowner. Like, the guests were having a party. Certainly that was intentional, but the homeowner wasn't invited to the party. And so we just got so much traction because there's just so much latent demand for someone who wanted a program that worked, and generally fell behind the rules of their policy or best practices in insurance that you don't cover intentional damage. And like, as a startup with no customers, we got, like, that was our break. Again, I didn't realize it at the time, but just using common business sense to cover what people thought should be covered was what made all the difference. And so I want to keep doing that, like, just solving business problems with insurance, understanding the needs, not of the carriers. The carriers will be taken care of, don't worry, but understanding the needs of the customers versus the industry.
You're in a one-man mission to change the profile of insurance. It sounds like consumers will actually like insurance and think that it's doing them some good now. When it always has been, but we do a very good job shooting ourselves in the foot, I think, in this industry over and over and over again. Great answer, Andrew. I knew you wouldn't let me down with that answer.
Well, it turns out that Andrew is the watermark and is the best guest.
There we go. Should we stop the show? Should we just should we tell Joe that we've actually ended it? this
How hilarious! We're like, I'm sorry, we peaked, Joe. We're out.
Yeah. We should. Well, let's not tell him. We'll just have him come on, and it'll be like 5 minutes of dead air with him, and we'll put that on.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Love that. Yeah.
No, music on in the background. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're not working with a Joe Zuck portfolio company right now, Andrew, and they're going to be like, "Sorry, man," like that.
Yeah,
these guys, they ruined it
show
for
up our
you.
guy.
Oh man, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. This great to hear your story, and appreciate you spending the hour. And I all the best with the baby on the way, and can't wait to see you in a few short months here out in Columbus.
It's a deal. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Great to see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
He might be the nicest man in insurance. Amit is the nicest man in insurance. this guy is tied. Andrew is tied with Amit for the nicest man in insurance.
Yeah, I could see Dylan just loves it. I mean, the claims that, but I agree 1000%. I mean, the worst thing for me in insurance that can happen for anyone is you pay a claim, you pay a lot of money, and people are still unhappy. And I see that time and time again from the outside. And it's so frustrating. So pay it early, and that is just such a great philosophy.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So someone brought up in their legacy, they brought up claims. I was having a moment over here.
This is why you
we should ask you, Dylan, on the next one. Your legacy.
I'll just be like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah. Can I just get Andrew's transcript? I'll put that one out.
Yeah, I'll read it back to you. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, Dylan, we're gonna miss you next week. I'm really
sorry.
sad that you're not around.
It is a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah,
A lot going on in life. You know how it goes.
No, listen, you got stuff going on, 100%. But still, did you see? I did invite you to our party.
I did, even though you knew I wasn't going to be there, Doug.
Well, I invited
so
you, and then I put you to no, just to like get you out of the way. I didn't want you to like taking up one of our invites.
I should have put maybe. Damn it.
No.
Yeah, that is. I know. I genuinely.
We've had a couple people ask if they could do a podcast with us in New York, and I said no. Dylan's not there. What the hell are you thinking? Why would you even ask that?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But
no, it's not your fault. I was
viewers,
mad at them.
For anyone listening at the 1 hour mark, unfortunately, you've got an ailing parent, and you gotta take care of your family. That is number one.
100%. Like I said, I wasn't mad at you, Dylan. I was mad at these people, the audacity to ask us to do a podcast without you.
No,
it was just
ridiculous.
And now they're banned from the show. They
was it Matt and Alex who were asking this, and they're really just trying to take my spot? Is that what happens? They want to have a less successful podcast.
Yeah. It would be less successful without you.
I don't know about that. I'm saying less successful than their existing podcast, but
is it even live? Peter, have they done an episode yet? Matt and Nigel?
Don't know. I think yes,
but isn't it still better than ours? Like, if you go below the zero line to bad, right? And they're at zero because they've never filmed. Aren't they better?
Ours is so bad. It's good. At least that's what my mom tells me. She's like,
Mystery Science 3000 style. Yeah.
What'd you say, Peter?
So we're growing a tiny bit. I had a small glance at the metrics the other day, if I can say that. We now have, as of right now on this recording, 1,208 followers
on LinkedIn.
So we paid a lot of money to Chinese bots.
I feel like we should have more for all that money we paid.
Yeah.
The Chinese are letting us down.
Yikes. Rough.
That's not bad though. Very good.
All right. Well, we got another one. Yeah, we do got Joe Zuck coming up here in a couple of days because it's been like 2 weeks since we've all hung out and done this. I think I was getting a little antsy to chat with you all.
That's all right.
We will deliver with another show in a couple of days.
Do we really have to get our shit together for Joe? Like, we got to straighten it up.
I feel like
I'm gonna wear a suit. I don't know about you guys. I'm wearing a
suit. I'm gonna wear a tuxedo T-shirt.
Nice. Hey, nobody got back to me on my. I said, should we wear tuxes to scout our live? I
don't actually own a tux, so
you can rent one. I bet they have really cool ones to rent in Columbus.
Like, do you like a nice baby blue or a periwinkle blue?
Yeah, I'm thinking,
that makes me think of like American Pie or something.
Yes, I think you look great with a cummerbund.
All right, maybe we should ask guests what they'd like to see us dressed in for the live show.
I'm going full pirate.
Nice.
Oh, that would play nicely into the Laurel theme. Parrot.
Oh, yeah, nice. There we go. You can get a parrot on your.
Can you get a parrot?
I could stand on your shoulder.
He could be on my shoulder. Yeah, well, that's a repeat of this last ITC where I somehow got all over social media because there's a person on my back
holding a parrot,
holding one of your Loro parrots.
Yeah,
so
love that.
Awesome. I'd explain that to my wife.
Yeah,
I will put that. If, with your permission, I will put that picture on Age of the MJ at some point.
I think we should. You don't need his permission.
Oh God.
True.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the rat of my wife.
Any shout outs to anyone this week?
Yeah, a couple shout outs. So this will go live on the second day of our second favorite conference after Scout, InsurTech New York Spring Conference. Sorry, David and Tony. Listen, I'd love to have you guys as our favorite conference, but Scout pays the bills. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with that.
Sorry,
but
Jay.
We'll
Jay,
still be
Bill,
there.
and Caribou also, because that puts them in the number 3 spot. Is that what's happening?
I don't know. Like, let's see some money, guys. Again, like,
it's all about the money with Doug.
We need that. We need that money. We need those dollar bills. Second day of the conference after Peter and I's blowout party on the rooftop with Alex Bond and Chris from Scout. And so hopefully one of us can post this. We'll have to be on top of things. But if you are around and somehow watched this episode and before, like, for breakfast or something before going to the conference, and you want to chat with me or Peter, please do reach out. Do you think anybody's going to fit that category? I don't think so, but just in case, I think we should.
I'll post it early. I'll be suitably jet lagged, so I'll post it nice and early.
Oh, good idea, Peter. Good idea.
Well done.
Yeah. Last thing, and then we'll go. Last thing. Peter sent me a message yesterday asking if I was going to post it. I was like, I'm all over it. Don't worry about it. And also,
I thought you said
"Ah."
I've scheduled this at the weekend, and I looked on scheduled posts. I was like,
I was like, Peter, don't worry about it. I
this
got
is
it.
massive tumbleweed that's just going across.
But I did eventually get to it. I was on a call. I was like, oh shit, guys, no, I gotta get off.
I did make a post recently about trust and how little I have. And
I'm just rolling all over it every day.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
My goal for today is to just be better for Peter. I'm gonna work on it.
So I don't chase you up.
That's going to be your daily legacy.
Doesn't even work. Don't even work at the same company. I still boss you around.
Yeah, I need it. I need somebody to boss me around. So. All right, guys. Chat with you later.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.